Where shall we go today? Where shall we go? Where do you want to go today? Let's explore. Brewery. I was not aware that Matalan was an essential business. But it is in Bury. Look at the queue, it's huge. The building behind me is called The Rock, although it's not actually made of rock. It's made of little rocks and then like concrete and metal. But they wanted to name it after a famous WWE wrestler, so they named it after that one with a big tash that went down there and he used to rip his shirt off. Hulk Big Daddy or something. So they named it after him, The Rock. Behind me is the car group, which is now open, although it still looks like they've got the decorators in. But they've got a few cars as well, so if you want to buy a car, you can do a lot worse than come to Brewery. Brewery also has a Debenhams. It's a massive Debenhams, and it's here and open for now. But they also have a massive M&S as well. But again, I have to say, for now. M&S also seems to be doing a line to make some more money by having scantily clad ladies sat in the windows. Sadly, you can't get within 2 metres of them at the moment. Sadly, the old fire station and its tower, which I can't see, but I know it's there, have been demolished at the moment. But the good news is, that's because there hasn't been a fire in Bury for 25 years. So they don't need it anymore. Everything's made of rock and metal, apparently. Can't figure out whether this is genius or not. Apartments on top of Mnes, and also apartments all the way down on top of all these shops. Now, is that genius? Or is, well, it is, because they're all full of, well, they look like the people who are living in them. So genius. You've got Mnes over there, you've got Mdms there, and you've got Costa, and then you've got all these apartments and everything, which are absolutely amazing, in the middle of the town centre. But you can only live in one, apparently, if you have the DNA that matches the DNA on these pillars which I've just walked through. So if your DNA matches them, because it's for local people, nothing for you here. So if you've got good DNA, you can live in one of these apartments for free. Well, maybe not free, but you know what I mean. Here you can learn English if you don't understand what English is. And it says there, ear old zov as well, which I don't quite know what that means, so it's not very good English. See, I always thought the Rock was like a solid building, not one with apartments on top of it and everything. It's brilliant, I love it. Well done, Brewery. Although they're closed at the moment, you can get Happy Nailsy, you can have a Jolly Roger as well if you want, and Hair Rocks. They really love their bodies, it's got to be said. They're very proud of the DNA here in Brewery. As you can see, there's a massive one that goes on for 16.5 miles. It's a big piece of DNA, it's actual size. I don't know how to get it in the cells, to be fair. You know what it's like in lockdown, none of us can have haircuts, even the McDonald's sign's grown some air. There's a bank that's shut down, and that's in the Rock as well. Who knew? To keep up the enthusiasm, look at that, they've got, wow, comics. It's like they've never seen them before. And then you've also got the Rock mini market where you can buy Rock Brewery and this building, which is a really old and very, very pleasant building indeed. After the excitement of being at the Rock, we've got this, which is really, really traditional. Look at the church there, which is spectacular for fairy tales and singing and stuff. You've also got a monument there, a very grand monument to the fallen. And as I slowly go around in this square, we've got a statue with a bird on it. Yep. We've also got some really old stone buildings as well, which look like these have been here for at least 50 years, maybe even longer, but I kind of remember them, so they've got to be here for at least 50 years. So that there is Castle. And then I'm going to knock down this building, which is a glorious building. I mean, that is amazing, isn't it? The architecture on that is superb. They're going to knock that building down, though, to carry on building this one. That clock tower there says ELR, which stands for the Electric Light Orchestra. And they own this railway station now, which they've turned into some kind of museum, although sadly it's closed at the moment. Although, as you can see there, they've got lots of carriages. They've got more than they had in the York Museum for Naval things. Now, this building here has got tiles on it. Not necessarily to my taste, as you know I don't really like tiles, but could have had a bit of character to the building, especially when you get to the main door, which is here. It's got looks like a fire surround around it. But the building itself is actually quite nice as well, because it's double domed. And now it's a fun zone. I like things that are hidden away. And let's be honest, we're in a car park off the main road opposite Jeff Lime's Museum for Trains, and they've got an actual transport museum, although obviously it's closed at the moment, but that's it there. I don't mind bother. Something I know a lot about, rock and goth, really into that. I was also into a band called Propaganda in the 80s, 9 Lives of Dr. Mabuse and Duel. Look it up, here's their nightclub. Another splendid building with a tower on it that looks slightly phallic, and that one's called a Ristorante. Oh, very posh. I didn't think that Bury was posh, but they don't call them toilets, they call them privy, and you can only stay for a short while, which means you can't have a poo, you can only have a quick wee. That's posh. Other things that you don't normally see are very old signs that used to be on walls of shops and other places, and even older, before they invented signs, they used to just paint on the walls or use bricks so you'd know what it was. The only problem was if you changed the shop underneath, you had to rebuild the wall on the side, so they soon got rid of that. This building behind me is spectacular, absolutely amazing, but they've got some weird sculpture-y things that kind of spoil the ambience. And here's their tribute to the Big Ben Parliament building, which I think they've done a really good job, although I can't see a big clock at the top. I can see it. Behind me is what looked like a kind of hospital in the middle of a town, which is unusual. However, if you think how many people live above the rock, then it's a really good idea. Well done, Bury. This is Bury. What used to be a bus station, but now they call them interchanges, because you can interchange from things, from a bus to another bus, from a bus to a train, from a train to a car, from a car to another car, from a car for a taxi, and so on and so forth. So it's called an interchange. It's also in the shape of a horseshoe, which is not like a human shoe, because horses have different kind of feet, but that's for another video. The Steven Spielberg movie, The Pigeons, was based on a walk round this town, where even the monuments have loads of pigeons on them. And it was a very scary movie, and I'm a bit nervous to study it. If you like steam engines and can't be arsed going to a museum, you can have a look at that one there, which is right next to the bus interchange. If you like really old-fashioned shopping centres, you can do a lot worse than come to Bury. Or we've got this one, which looks like it was built in the 1920s or something. However, rejoice, it does have a sex shop. Yes! Although it's closed at the moment. Bury is very famous for its outdoor market, where they sell something called white puddings, which are puddings which are made out of berries, which turn white when you cook them. And they are very, very, very famous. So if you ever want any, come here when it's open, not like me when it's closed. If you come out of the market, you end up going through a tunnel which takes you underneath a big road, which is that road, which brings you out to a car park. It's about as exciting as it gets, I'm sorry. It's a very popular car park, as you can tell. So plenty of parking here in Bury. The old Robin Hood there has been converted into Sheridan Smith Spa and Eat and Chill. But I don't know about you, but when I'm eating, I prefer to be warm. Now, you know me, I love a signage cock-up. So there we've got Lakeland Furniture, but you can tell at the bottom they started doing it, lands, and then they put fur and they run out of space. I love it. So if you want to come somewhere that's got plenty of free-ish car parking spaces, and it's got a shopping centre which is unique in the fact that it's also people's homes, as well as a market that's not open but is most of the time, food that is exclusive to the area, and some interesting architecture, old and new, and an old railway. You can do a lot worse than come here to Bury. So until next time, goodbye! Where shall we go today? Where shall we go? Where do you want to go today? Let's explore. Bury is not exceptional when it comes to tributes to bigger towns and cities.